Sometimes a single journey can tell a massive story. A single ship, built using ancient methods, recently sailed from India to Oman. And its voyage wasn't just across the Arabian Sea. We're talking about a journey across 5,000 years of shared history. So let's dive in and see how this one trip reveals a partnership that's more critical today than ever.
So, let's start with the journey itself. This was no luxury cruise. The source material uses a very specific phrase, an arduous 18-day journey. And that phrase, it really tells you everything, doesn't it? This was tough. It was a deliberate test of endurance, designed to make a very powerful statement.
And there it is, the INSV Condinia arriving in Muscat. This ship is really at the heart of our whole story. What's so cool is that it's a brand new vessel, but it's built with wisdom that's literally thousands of years old. Its journey from Port Bandar in India to Muscat in Oman was like a physical reenactment of a bond that has existed for millennia.
Okay, so what's the big deal with this ship? Well, to get that, we need to peel back the first layer. The story really begins not just with what the ship did, but with how this thing was actually built. And that's where we find this incredible tribute to India's ancient shipbuilding traditions.
And just to give you a sense of how deep this history runs, think about the word catamaran. We all use it, right? Well, it comes directly from the Tamil word katumaran. That's amazing. It shows that India wasn't just building ships. It was creating maritime tech so effective that its names literally sailed into the English language and just stayed there. So here's how they did it. This is the ancient art of stitched ships. Get this, a whole team of naval architects, archaeologists, and master craftsmen spent 2 years bringing this technique back to life. There are no nails. The wooden planks are literally stitched together with cords. What you get is a ship that's way more flexible and sturdy, able to handle rough seas much better than a rigid, nailed-up ship. It's just a perfect example of indigenous knowledge in action.
But look, this ship is about so much more than just cool old technology. It's a symbol. It represents a deep, civilizational connection between India and Oman that stretches back more than 5 millennia. We're talking about a bond that was forged long before modern nations even existed.
This timeline really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? It's incredible. It starts 5,000 years ago with trade between the Indus Valley Civilization and ancient Oman, which they called Magan. And it just keeps going through the Middle Ages. Then you see them teaming up against European powers in the 1600s, all the way to influential business dynasties being founded in the 1800s. I mean, this is not some new friendship. It's an enduring civilizational bond.
So what was the engine driving all of this? Simple, trade. It was this perfect symbiotic exchange. India was the place for cotton, spices, and textiles. Oman, meanwhile, had the copper that India's metalworkers needed, plus things like frankincense and pearls. It was a total win-win, and over centuries, that kind of trade builds a whole lot of trust and interdependence.
And the connection wasn't just about goods, it was always about people. Check out this number, 10,000. Way back in the 10th century, an Arab historian recorded that nearly 10,000 Arab Muslims, many from Oman, were living on India's western coast. That's not just a trade link, that's a living, breathing bridge of communities. And that spirit of integration is still alive and well today. Here's a powerful modern example. One of Oman's most powerful business groups, the Khimji Ramdas Group, was started by a Gujarati merchant way back in 1870. His descendant, Kanaksi Khimji, was so respected that the late Sultan Qaboos himself gave him the honorary title of Sheikh. Think about that. That says so much about the mutual respect that has defined this relationship. So when you have this much shared history, all this trade and cultural exchange, it's only natural that it evolves into something more, a strategic partnership. Because, let's be real, the Indian Ocean hasn't always been a peaceful place, and when challenges came up, India and Oman often found themselves on the same side.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Look at this comparison. Back in the 16th century, the big threat was the Portuguese trying to violently control all the trade routes. So who pushed back? Omani forces and Indian merchants working together. Now, fast forward to today, the challenges are different. Now it's about geopolitical competition, China's naval presence, and vulnerable energy routes. But the response? It's exactly the same. Deeper cooperation between India and Oman. History is definitely rhyming here.
In fact, when Oman rose as a major naval power in the 17th century, it was largely built on Indian foundations. The best teak wood for their ships came from India. The expert shipbuilders were from Surat. The financing often came from Gujarati merchants. So this partnership isn't just old, it's foundational to the security of the whole region.
Okay, so why does all this history matter right now? Because the Indian Ocean has once again become a theater of intense competition, and that makes this ancient partnership more vital than ever before.
Let's break down the modern challenges. Geopolitical competition is on the rise. China's naval presence is growing, and the trade and energy routes that power India's economy are looking more and more vulnerable. In this kind of environment, having a reliable partner like Oman right where they are is absolutely indispensable.
And this partnership today isn't just talk, it's concrete and has many layers. In defense, India's access to Oman's Duqm port is a game-changer, extending its reach near the critical Strait of Hormuz. Diplomatically, they have a joint vision document to align their goals. And economically, a new trade deal is in the works to boost prosperity for both. These are the modern pillars being built on that ancient foundation.
Which brings us right back to our stitched ship. The journey of the INSV Kaundinya does so much more than just cross an ocean. It beautifully ties together these threads of heritage and strategy, reminding both nations that their partnership isn't just about today's geopolitics, but about a shared maritime civilization that has weathered the storms of millennia.
So, the final question is this. As the waters of the Indian Ocean become more turbulent and contested, just how deep and strong are these ancient anchors? Well, the voyage of the Kaundinya suggests they run very deep indeed, providing a kind of stability that's going to be crucial for the century ahead.